I surprised my girlfriend with Taylor Swift tickets. She wanted to bring her friend instead. For 3 years, my girlfriend and I, both 26, have been building what I thought was a solid relationship. She's a massive Taylor Swift fan, the kind who knows every lyric, analyzes every Easter egg, and tears up during the bridge of All Too Well. So when Taylor announced her MetLife Stadium tour stop, which is basically in our backyard, I knew I had to make it happen. Cue me, calling in sick to work the day the tickets dropped. I sat there nervously refreshing the Ticketmaster page, heart racing, and the queue moved slower than molasses. 2 hours later, I finally secured 2 seats, $400 each. Painful, yes, but worth it for the look on her face. That night, she came home from work, exhausted. I couldn't wait another second. I whipped out the tickets like I was Willy Wonka presenting the last golden ticket. She screamed, jumped into my arms, and kissed me like I'd just proposed. It was perfect, but then, as I said, "I can't wait to go with you," the room froze. Her smile faltered, and she tilted her head like a confused puppy. "Wait, you're going with me?" she asked. Turns out, in her mind, those 2 tickets weren't for us. They were for her and her best friend Emily, the other Taylor Swift superfan in her life. She tried to explain that Emily had been talking about the concert for months and would just die to go. I was stunned. "I thought this was something we'd do together," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. She saw how hurt I was and quickly backtracked. No, of course, I want to go with you. I just assumed, Emily loves Taylor so much, but if you want to go, I'd love to have you there." I didn't want to guilt her into taking me. "Go with whoever you'd enjoy it more with," I said. And then, without missing a beat, she called Emily. Right there. "We're going to the Taylor Swift concert," she squealed into the phone. I just stood there, stunned. Ouch didn't even cover it. I told her, "Fine, but if Emily's taking my spot, she's paying for the ticket." Emily agreed, Venmo'd me on the spot, and the girls had their night of singing Cruel Summer at the top of their lungs while I stayed home, scrolling through Instagram stories of the concert. The next morning, she came back glowing, raving about how magical the night was. But I couldn't help but feel a knot in my chest. I thought this was supposed to be our memory. My first concert, something I'd never done before, shared with someone I love. Now I'm left wondering, did I handle this the wrong way? Should I have fought harder for my place at her side that night? Or was stepping back the right thing to do, even if it hurt?
My husband, John, affectionately called Bucky, M26, and I, F24, recently returned from our honeymoon. Bucky earned his nickname because he bears an uncanny resemblance to the MCU character, though, let me tell you, my Bucky is even dreamier. Everything seemed perfect after our wedding, until last night, when we had dinner with his family for the first time since the big day. My sister-in-law, F20, who's my favorite person besides my husband and was also my maid of honor, pulled me aside with a serious expression. She said, "There's something you need to know about your wedding. Let's rewind for some context. My mother-in-law, F48, and I have a complicated history. From the moment Bucky and I started dating, she made it clear she didn't like me. Not overtly, of course. She kept up appearances in front of her son, but the moment he was out of earshot, the snide comments would start. At first, I kept quiet, hoping she'd come around. When she didn't, I finally told Bucky. To his credit, he believed me. But when he confronted her, she spun it as a misunderstanding, claiming her remarks were taken the wrong way. She didn't stop, she just got more subtle, weaponizing plausible deniability. Bucky trusted me, but struggled to see his mother's intent as malicious. When he proposed, I naively hoped this would mark a turning point. Instead, her behavior escalated. She was sneakier, nastier, and more determined to undermine me. I nearly called off the wedding at one point. Bucky and I argued, me frustrated by her continued interference, and him stuck between wanting to defend me and not wanting to believe the worst of his mother. Somehow, we made it to the big day. My sister-in-law was my rock through the planning process, and because my mother-in-law was kept at arm's length, everything went smoothly. Or so I thought. On the wedding day, I was blissfully unaware of what went down before I walked down the aisle. From my vantage point in the bridal suite, everything seemed fine, though I did wonder why we started late. Bucky brushed it off as something last minute that couldn't be helped. I didn't press him, but now I know the truth. My mother-in-law arrived at the venue wearing white. Not an off-white or cream, straight up bridal white. My sister-in-law told me Bucky's face darkened the moment he saw her. He didn't cause a scene right then and there. Instead, he pulled her aside into his ready room, along with his siblings and father. When his mother walked in, smiling and reaching to hug him, Bucky stepped back. "What are you wearing?" he asked, his voice sharp. She laughed it off. "Oh, it's just a dress. You're overreacting." But Bucky didn't budge. He asked again, louder this time. "Why are you wearing white at my wedding? Why are you trying to hurt my fiancé? Why are you trying to ruin this day for us?" When she tried to play innocent, claiming she didn't realize it was a problem, Bucky exploded. He told her point blank that he'd finally seen through her games. "All this time, I've defended you. I told her you didn't mean to be cruel, but now I see I was wrong. You were being cruel. You've been trying to sabotage our relationship from the start." When his father tried to interject, Bucky cut him off. "Number, you've stood by and let this happen. You're just as guilty for enabling her." Then came the ultimatum. "You're my mother, and because of that, I'm giving you a chance. I'll delay this wedding by 30 minutes so you can go home, go to a store, or figure out some other solution. But if you come back wearing white, you will never see me, my wife, or any children we have in the future. Ever. Do I make myself clear?" Apparently, that was enough to shake her. 30 minutes later, she returned wearing a blue dress, looking furious but saying nothing. The wedding went off without a hitch, and it was the happiest day of my life. But now, hearing what Bucky did for me, I'm falling in love with him all over again. This man deserves the world. His birthday is in 3 months, and I'm determined to plan something extraordinary to show him just how much he means to me.
I ruined my husband's Thanksgiving. Okay, buckle up, because this year's Thanksgiving wasn't about turkey and gratitude. It was about revenge, served piping hot with a side of raw turkey guts. Jake, my now ex-husband of 6 years, decided to cheat on me with Megan, his co-worker/wannabe Instagram model who couldn't influence her way out of a paper bag. How did I find out? Lipstick left in his jacket pocket. When I confronted him, he fumbled like a toddler caught with his hand in the cookie jar. It was from a group Halloween party," he stammered. "Sure, Jake. And I'm the Queen of England." But that wasn't even the worst part. Later that night, while he fell asleep early, I played detective. His phone was a treasure trove of idiocy, texts, photos, videos, bragging about Megan. Gems like, "She's hotter than Sarah," and "Finally found someone who doesn't nag me." Oh, and the pièce de résistance? He invited her to our Thanksgiving dinner because she doesn't have family nearby. I wanted to kick him out on the spot, but then inspiration struck. If Megan was coming to Thanksgiving, I was going to make sure it was a holiday she'd never forget. I threw myself into preparing dinner like a woman possessed. Turkey, stuffing, pies, everything was perfect. Except I had a secret ingredient: vengeance. When Thanksgiving rolled around, Megan waltzed in with her dollar store wine and a grin that said, "I'm here to steal your man." She had no idea what was coming. I played the gracious hostess, even complimenting her cheap little dress. Jake looked smug, like he thought he'd gotten away with it. But as everyone sat down, I raised my glass for a toast. "I just want to say how thankful I am for clarity," I began, my voice sweet as pie. "Jake, Megan, this moment is all about you." Confusion flickered across their faces. Then, I hit play on my laptop, which was conveniently connected to the TV. Oh yes, I made a PowerPoint. The screen lit up with texts, Jake and Megan planning their little trysts, photos of them sneaking around, and the pièce de résistance, a video of Megan doing, well, something that made Jake's mom shriek, "Oh my God!" Pandemonium erupted. Jake stammered, Megan sobbed, his parents turned 50 shades of mortified, and my mom? She sipped her wine like it was the series finale of her favorite drama. But I wasn't done. "Megan," I said, cutting through the chaos, "I made you something special." I left the room and came back with a casserole dish, dramatically unveiling its contents: raw turkey guts. I call it Homewrecker Surprise. Enjoy. Then, with the flair of a seasoned chef, I dumped the entire dish onto her lap. The shriek she let out was pure music. She bolted for the door, dripping in turkey slime, leaving a trail of humiliation behind her. Jake tried to follow her, but I stopped him cold. "Oh no, you're not going anywhere. Your bags are in the garage. And by the way, I called your boss. He's got those videos now too. Good luck explaining that." His face turned ghostly white. He slunk out without a word. As the door slammed behind him, Jake's mom started crying. His dad stammered an apology, and my mom raised her glass. "Best Thanksgiving ever," she declared. She wasn't wrong.